सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Were you guys singing?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear anybody's voice. Okay. Can we do the 12th chapter first? Okay. Open your 12th chapter. Can I see you, Karnu and Rehan? Awesome. Do you have the Gita with you? Let's open the 12th chapter. You guys are on? Raja, Sean, can you share with? Come, you can slide.
Oh, alright.
You guys can share.
Come here. Come here. I'll leave you. Come here.
Okay. Arjunuvacha evam satataयुक्ताये भक्त्यास्तां पर्युपासते श्रीचाप्यक्षरव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्री भगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्योपेतस्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देशम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धत्रकमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धये ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तसक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पर अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धार्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि चिरपार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसां मय्येवामनादस्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवशिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशय। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिर अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि अकर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानाभ्यासात् ज्ञानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्मफलत्यागः
त्यागक्षन्तिरनन्तरम्
अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कार समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर् यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यज्जानो द्विजते लोको लोकानो द्विजते च यः हर्षमर्षभयोद्वेगे मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्ष शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यतः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हिंसति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी
भक्तिमान् मे
स मे
प्रियः
समशत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयो शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्द्रास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्ट येन केनचित् अनिकेतस्य धर्मद्य भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धानामत्परमं
भक्तास्ते
मे प्रियः ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे जोर से थोड़ा मन में बोलना कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. When we do like the pranam, usually it gives you a sense of surrendering. Like you surrender yourself when you give a respect or you do the pranam. What do? You surrender yourself to the God. So don't feel shy in doing, putting your hands together and doing the pranam to any, when we are saying God prayers or something, put your hands together and bow down. It means like you are surrendering yourself to the Lord, right? And this is a good gesture. So never feel shy on that one. And Karnu, I like your backgrounds a lot, different backgrounds. But let's concentrate on what we are studying today, right? So keep one background, don't change it anymore. Okay? Okay. So let's go and start with our meditation. Now this one, I want to put one more thing on top of it, what we are doing the meditation. I think probably we need to start doing the Om meditation now, right? So I feel like you guys, we cannot stay at one same step. We have to go up the ladder some, right? So today I feel like we need to move on from 12th to 13th chapter, memorizing it. But until we don't memorize the 12th, we cannot move on to the 13th. You want to be in the 7th grade all the time or 6th grade all the time? No, you want to move forward, right? So for all of us, we want to make sure that we memorize the chapter number 12, so we move on to chapter number 13. We want to keep moving on. We don't want to stay at the same place for all the time, right? We have to go far from just being, doing one chapter all the time. So whenever you guys are ready, I feel like you guys started memorizing it, we can move on to the 13th chapter, right? The same way, let's move on to a little bit more advance of our meditation. So what we're going to do is, we're going to say Om, and it's like 3 letters, I told you, right? One time we have that class too. Om has 3 letters. What were they? Anybody remember? It was long time back class, so I don't know if anybody's remember. But there are 3 alphabet that makes Om together.
Oh.
Yes. A-U-M. Good. So A-U-M makes Om together, right? So we talk about A is a waking state, U is a dream state, and then M is the bliss state that we were saying, right? The waking, the deep sleep state, right? So waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. So that's Om, right? So, and then there is a silence in the end, right? That's the Turiya that we talk about, the consciousness that we talk about, that is running through all 3 stages, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say Om and then silence. But everybody can say Om as long as they can hold the breath, right? So then there is a silence, right? Then we start again. Yes.
So we wait till the last person's done?
No. So good question. We're gonna continue our Om.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not gonna wait for everybody else because I cannot do that long. You might be able to do longer than me, right? So I'm gonna break it. I will start from my Om again, right? And just a little pause in the middle, and then I will start the next Om, right? So you guys can do on your own speed. Don't work on the other person's speed. Got it? Right? So we start, and you guys understand online, everybody? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our palms on our knees upside, and then we're gonna start doing Om, right? So close your eyes, and with one breath, how long we can pull it, we're gonna pull that Om, right? So we'll start U, O, Ma, but then what happens is we cannot say it's gonna be a very long. So start with Om, right? And finish that with the silence. Ready? Eyes closed. What happened?
I thought nothing.
Tell me.
I thought at the end like no one was going, so I was like confused.
Where is it? Was it going or not?
No, like no one was like saying anything.
Nobody was? Nobody was? I was.
Oh, like
Did-
Like at
when
the
you
end.
stopped, like to say, like to close it.
Oh, close it. That time, yeah. Okay. True. Okay, guys. So, we can do this, right? Does that, or does it make feel difference? we'll start doing that. Okay, let's come back to our chapter number. Chapter number 5. Let's go with the beat. What chapter are we doing? 5. Yeah, come with the beat. Come on, guys. Okay. It's not that dull class that you don't even get the excitement.
5.
5. Let's get that going. Chapter number 5. We are already half chapter 5, like almost at the half, what, 29?
29?
Slok 29, right? There are 29 sloks and we are already at
14.
15, 16. So it's going to be almost half of it.
Like
Right.
what we're doing
I did
today.
that last time.
We did until
14.
We did 14.
14, yes. Okay. So, we go with the, just to give a summary a little bit. So, in 11, slok number 11, God says that all the things, that if you do the selfless action with the body, mind, intellect, and senses, that's when the work we should, doing and giving up all the attachment. That's where the karma yoga starts, right? So he talks about the 3 things that we should do all our action by body, mind, and intellect as karma yoga. How do you remember, guys? How do you do karma yoga with the body?
You do action.
You do action. How do you make karma yoga with the
You do
body?
actions for the body.
Huh?
You do actions according to God.
Yes, but there was like a very simple steps given to you guys with the body.
You mentally renounce the action.
And that was in stroke number 13. So I'm talking about 11. So we talk about it. Now what should you do with the body?
Use the body to serve others.
Others, got you. Use the body to serve others. How would you do with the mind?
Food comes in front of you, think about this person.
You don't do action with likes and dislikes. You don't do any actions that are influenced by likes and dislikes. How would you do with the intellect? All the work?
No pride.
No pride, yes, no pride of ownership. That is right. No pride what?
Yes,
Of
no
ownership of the work, right? So that was intellect. So how do you do the work? First, service to others. Second, with no influence with likes and dislikes. Third, with no having a pride of ownership, right? And then with the senses was? With the senses? Control the senses, right? So if you do with any action by these 4 principles, then that action become karma yoga. Got it? Right? So then with explaining that, he went to explain that in 12th chapter he said the person who gives up all the fruit of their actions attain highest peace, right? And then he says the person who works by desire, they are attached, they are trapped with karma. So what is the highest peace? How can we get, what are the techniques to reach
No
highest peace?
expectation.
Not be bothered by anything.
And that is the highest peace. Not be bothered by anything. It still says the peace. What is the technique to attain that?
Oh, you do everything with love?
Yeah, one. And what is the other one?
You don't wait for the action?
He's so right.
No, Sean said it.
But you guys can also say.
No expectation.
Oh, yeah.
So no expectation and with love. If you do by these 2 things, then you can achieve this highest peace, which you said never bothered by anything, by doing these 2 actions, right? So that we discussed. Then we came to the 13th one, where it says, what you said, Risha, you said that mentally renounce all the actions.
Oh, mentally renounce your actions. I am not the doer.
Yes. So now he says mentally renounce the action, and I keep on emphasizing on this word mentally because I don't want you to get the wrong meaning out of this shloka, that renounce the action, and then Sean will say God says renounce the action, so I'm not going to fold the clothes, I'm not going to put the dishes up because God says renounce the action. You will not say that, right? So I have to make sure mentally renounce the action, right? So you are not physically renouncing the action. God is not saying that physically don't do action. He is saying mentally renounce the actions and having self-control. You stay happy. Yeah, to stay happy in
And
the
never
city
try
of...
to change anybody.
And never try to change anybody. True, you got that lesson right? So you don't try to change anybody, and that was the... And you stay happy in this city of 9 gates. Got it? That was 13. Now we come to the 14th, which we were doing last time. So in 14, God is saying that what happens is, we say, oh, God does everything, right? We keep on saying that, oh, God made me so unhappy. God gives me so much sorrow. God gave me so much bad luck. God, why did God made me like this? Why did God make the other people like this? Why did God give them money and not me? Why did God give this work? So God is giving the answer in 14th and 15th shlok, right? What is the answer to it? God is saying, I did not created the doership, nor I created the actions, right? So he did not created the doership, not the action, nor even the results of the action. So he's not giving the results of the action, but nature manifests itself. So he gives the answer, nature manifests itself. So the sorrow and happiness, how are they coming? We get to know that, right? So God gave a clue here in the shlok that he doesn't create an ownership, he doesn't create the actions, he doesn't even create the fruit of action. Then who creates it? Right? The question comes, who creates it? So what is the answer to it?
Nature.
Huh?
Nature.
Nature creates it. And nature, we discussed last time, what is the nature made up of? Behavior creates it, by the way. You know, we take about it. But how, what we talked about that last time. What are the behavior dependent on?
Sattvic, tamasic, Rajasic.
That's the prakriti, right? So nature depends on sattvic, tamasic and rajasic gunas, right? So that's the prakriti or nature. This is our prakriti. Prakriti, nature. So we got all these three gunas in that, right? Rajasic, tamasic and sattvic. So we have access to all these three gunas. Now says that, okay, what is happening? That there is also sanskar. Sanskar, right? Sanskar and prakriti mix together and gives you behavior. Right? Now think about that. Like one school, right? The same teacher teaches all 24 kids. Right? All 24 kids in the classroom, same teacher teaches you. Right? So he gave the same, he gave the same resources to all of you, saying that you need to go on this website, do this, you need to do this action, you need to do this. He gave everything, all the instructions are same to all 24 kids. Right? But do you think everybody gets what, when he takes the test, will everybody gets the same points, same grades? No, why?
Everyone thinks different.
Everybody thinks differently, everybody takes the words differently, everybody takes the course differently, everybody has the strength of memorizing differently, right? So there is something else, there is sanskara also that plays role into it. Right? So there is some of your particular behavior that plays role into it. That's what. So God gave the prakriti, the nature to everybody. They gave sattva, rajas and tamas guna to everybody. But then that is added to the sanskara. And sanskara is what? Last time I gave a big example, and if you guys remember that, what is sanskara? How is sanskara comes from? Where does that come from? What did we make sanskara? Did God give you sanskara? Or did we make it? God made the sanskara? God made this prakriti, right? Prakriti and nature, all the three gunas are given by the God. what makes sanskara? I have to give that example again because last time I gave it and Krish was saying, oh my god, you were dragging that example so bad. But if you guys don't get that example, then I have to give it again. So, you remember I told you that the clothes are in the washing and then we forgot to put it in the dryer, right? For the whole night, it is still in washing. And then next morning we wake up and see that, oh wow, clothes are still in the washing machine. It was not put it in the dryer. What happened to the cloth?
It's
All the cloths
wet.
wet and what?
No. Or no.
Yeah. What happens with the wet cloths?
Oh, they become. They colors
smell
mix.
bad?
I don't know.
They smell bad, yes. What else?
The colors mix.
The colors got mixed. It could not. Yeah, if it is staying for a long time and some has a lighter color, then it might have the coloring. What else happens to the clothes? Anybody remember there online? Last time examples. What happened to the clothes? Yeah, it's wet. It stayed wet. It become wrinkly, right? It becomes too wrinkly because we didn't put it in the dryer as soon as. So first thing happens is they are wet and sometimes they dry too, sitting in the washing, right? They dry in 24 hours because sometimes we leave it, but they become wrinkly, right? Now you say, oh, the cloth become wrinkly, let me go back to the store where I bought and return it because I got the cloth, wrinkly cloth. Would they return it?
No.
Would they say, okay, I made it? Or you will go to the company who made the cloth and say, oh, you made the bad cloth, I have to return it. Could you do that? No, you cannot do it because who made it wrinkly?
We did.
We did. So who did that? The wrinkle is formed because of
Us.
us. Those are sanskara. God gave you three things, but what do you make it? You used it and you made it according to your thing. Yeah, you buy a play dough, right? And then you bring it home and you make whatever structure you want to make it. And then you said, okay, no, the structure did not come out right. Let me tell the people who made the dough that they did a wrong thing. Can you say that to them? That they did a wrong thing because the structure didn't come up right? It's you did that, right? So the sanskara are made by us. We made it, right? God gave you the tool, but who made the sanskara? We. By doing our karmas, whatever karma we do, we made our sanskara, and these sanskara comes from birds and birds and birds. So the sanskara, that prakriti and sanskara makes your behavior. When they make your behavior, the sanskara are provided by you, right? So the wrinkle on the cloth was made by you. Nobody else made the wrinkle to your cloth, right? Now you want to wear it. Now what happens is these sanskara are so strong. No matter what you do, how hard you try to change it, it's very hard to change it because it is strongly established in you. Very strongly the sanskara established in you. You are born with it, right? Because it's established in you birth after birth. So you are born with these sanskara and it's very hard to do it. So think about it. It's like a year ago, if you remember, Krish, I don't know if you remember, there was a virus that came in the computer, I love you virus. You remember that? Yes. I love you virus. What happens is as soon as you open that file, I love you file, the virus comes in your computer and grabs the whole files are gone and they disrupt it. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. So that virus was logical, mathematical calculation of the virus, right? As soon as you open the file on your computer, the file get crashed and whole computer gets crashed. Whole your hard drive get crashed and everything. So these sanskara, when we talk about that, they are like this viruses, right? That goes in yours. So what you have to do is you have to protect your prakriti by having these bad sanskara, this virus go in you, right? So when we talk about this, what are we talking about? Like when we make the bad sanskara, like waking up too late, not working, getting late. God said, I am not doing this. This is not me. God saying, I don't do this. I don't do this. And ownership and action gives results of action or karma. When God says, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this either. Right? So he's saying, not this, not this, not this. All three I don't do it. So now who does it? Yes.
Wait, so like before, you're supposed to say like, you're supposed to give the ownership to God, right? But then God says like, I don't have the ownership.
The doership, ownership,
Yeah.
however you
Wait,
talk.
on
Yeah.
the bottom it says God.
Doesn't do this.
Yeah, wait, so
Doesn't do this and doesn't do this.
so like if God is saying that he doesn't do it, or he doesn't have ownership,
So why are you giving the ownership?
so how do you give the ownership to him? Or why did you give it to him?
So when we talk about this, think about this way. Like he's saying that he is not the doer of the action, right? He's not doing it, right? Then he's saying, I'm not creating the actions, right? And then he's saying, I'm not doing the results of action, right? These three is clear. Now we say that, okay, you are the doer of the, we say, God, you are the one who, with the God grace, I did this, right? With the God grace, I did that, right? So we are keeping him as a center of saying that with the God grace, I am able to do this. Now I will tell you that the energy that came in our body, the existence that we have it, whom would you do that? That's, one thing you always have to think about it, that there are a lot of questions, is God there or not, right? There is no, anybody can raise their hand and say, yes, 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 I have seen God. Nobody can, right? But can you guarantee this, that you exist? Can you guarantee that?
Yeah.
Can you guarantee that you exist? Okay, so Krish doesn't exist? You don't know that you exist?
No.
But you can't guarantee it.
What if it's
You
all
can-
a dream?
Oh, could be. But do you, as right now, do you feel like you are existing?
Yes.
Right? You exist. And that's what the God is. The existence is the God. The existence, the consciousness that you have, the existence that makes you exist, that's the base of the God. But here's the thing, you got that? Because we say that everything is, that's the first step of devotion, right? That with the God grace we are doing everything, right? The existence that is in us is the God. Right, Krishna, you got the part of it? Like how we change it to the devotion?
So like giving ownership is not saying, God, you're doing this.
Yeah.
You're saying like, your power is allowing me,
Me
to do the
that.
action.
Yes. That's how you go. Right? So that's what here is. Now the two things we can do with it. First thing, yeah. So the action should, we talked about that before too. The action should never be influenced by, to do this, when we know that we are doing all this thing, nobody else is doing it. So actions, all the actions should never be influenced by our likes and dislikes. If you can write this down, that would help you so much, that any action that is influenced by your likes and dislikes, then what happens is, there is certain kind of rag and dvesh comes out of it. The results is always filled with rag and dvesh, and that always give you sanskara of doing rag and dvesh. So that will come in you.
What's wrong with the race?
Likes and dislikes, rags and dveshes, likes and dislikes, right?
Just double checking.
Yeah. So you got that? So that's the one thing that we have to. So God washed his hand from all the actions. So now you cannot blame God that God, you made me poor, you made me unintelligent, God, you made somebody more beautiful than me. We cannot keep doing that because now God already washed his hand. Now you cannot blame them. Blame him. So who you have to blame?
Yourself.
Your actions, right? The actions that you took, right? You the sanskara that you made, right? I will take Sia first and then I can. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, bol beta.
Wait, so is the sanskar also based on the prarabdha karma?
Yeah, all the karmas, right? Birth after birth, right? The karmas that you are doing for so long that keep on building the sanskara, right? And that's why it says it's very hard to change the sanskara because it's so strongly rooted.
Wait, what's Bhagavad Gita, like the past karma?
Yeah. So it is very strongly rooted in yourself. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that that's why I was saying the action that you are making today is sanskara for tomorrow. Right? The actions, this is a big thing to write down if you guys are not writing down. The actions of today is making sanskara of tomorrow.
Wait, but like, what if you devote your actions, but like, they're bad?
Then you're not devoting.
Why would you devote a bad action to somebody
That's not real
whom you
devotion.
love a lot? Raja, would you do bad things to them and say, okay, I'm doing these bad things for you,
But I love you.
but I love
But,
you? Will that
also,
just
like,
happen?
what if you're like a bad person, but then you like change on the path to God? Like, what would your Bhagavad Gita be? Like, would it be bad or would it be good?
No, prarabdha karma will start getting better, right? And your sanskara start getting better. So then it could be a slow process or it could be overnight process if you become really enlightened. But the thing is always you have to remember that this action, today's action, is not giving you result right away. Right? Right away results could be really good. You might do a bad thing. Oh, I'm gonna cheat today in my test. And you cheat and you got 100. Oh, the results are so good. I did the cheating and the result become too good, right? So the right now result could be good, but what's going to happen is
So you're gonna get caught.
sanskara developing in you, right? So tomorrow it becomes your sanskara, and now sanskara, what's going to happen?
You get a 50.
You get so attached to cheating that you're going to cheat in every test.
It might not be.
And when you start teaching in every test, what's going to happen? One day you will get caught, no matter what.
It's like a last day, right? That you're not gonna learn.
And you're not going to learn for future, right? So sanskara for tomorrow. Action for today is sanskara for tomorrow. So if you do a good action today, what's going to happen is good sanskara will come, right? Good sanskara will come, then your life will be easier to do the right path.
Like, what if you only cheat once? It's a rhetorical question.
Then you will get the karma for that cheating one.
You will get that. I was saying, I went to visit my guru, right, recently last week. So I left my, one of my shawl had the pearl and it fall down. And he called me later when I reached back to Dallas and he called me, he said, oh, is this pearl, you want to save this pearl or should we trash it because now it's there, right? So I'm like, is it $1 million pearl that he was joking. He said, is it $1 million pearl that I have to save it for you or should I trash it? So I said, oh, I wish it was $1 million pearl. So he said, make sure you think before saying I wish. Because when you say I wish means you are ready for that wish to grant it and you are also ready for the consequences that's going to come with it. Right? So I wish to become a millionaire, so make sure I am ready to take that consequences with it comes with it. Right? So when you say that I'm doing cheating one time, the sanskara will come, I wish I can do this. What's going to happen is the sanskara will develop right then and there. And then what's going to happen is, I wish, you remember I was telling you that, oh, it was your second period and you couldn't ask the question, what was it? So I wish my period was third or fourth so that I could have asked the question to my friends, what was it? And then, so I wish that, so what were you thinking? You were thinking the wrong thing, right? So then what's going to happen is the consequences will come with it. So remember not to wish a bad thing that the consequences will hurt you. Yes?
Well, what if you wish for like a good thing?
Then it's good. Yeah, if you are wishing for a good thing, that's good. And remember that one thing, I will talk to you in the next, I think it's in the next sloka. It's really good when you say, sometimes, is it good things for yourself only or is it for everybody?
Everybody.
It should be for everyone.
Yes, when it becomes yourself, then what happens is, it could be bad thing for another person. Right? it says that, yes.
Wait, how's cheating on a test a bad thing for others?
Oh my God, hop cheating.
Sean, it is a bad thing. You didn't learn anything and you
So what if
cheat
you're
on it.
both competing to go to the same college or something?
Huh.
Or competing for one spot and you need a test score.
Yeah, so I'm
And
better
you
on the
cheated,
test.
but you hurt someone else that actually deserved it.
Oh, I got it.
Because you were
Yeah.
competing for the same spot.
You got that? That's why. So it is always going to be bad for somebody, and if you do bad for somebody, one person also, you impacted your result of karma. Right? Always result is not that directly that you got. It is the results that you are getting later on too. So remember that part, one important thing. Right? So it should be always, we have to think that our actions are not nourishing our rag and dvesh, our likes and dislikes, right? So make sure that that keeps in mind, right? If you are making this action that is depending on likes and dislikes, your rag and dvesh, then what happens is sanskara are born out of it, right? And when sanskara are born, you are born with powerful likes and dislikes. And when you are born with, oh, I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this, you will fall into sorrow very quickly, because there is some things that you don't strongly dislike in. So not have that strong opinion on, I don't like this and I like this, right? So that will hurt you a lot. And one thing is your spiritual growth. If you want to see it, you are very, small right now, you have a whole long life to live, but step by step you will see, if you are not working towards purity of your mind, your spirituality is not growing, right? So your spirituality is only growing, and if you indicate in yourself, because nobody else will know, right? You will not know how my mind is purifying or not, right? I will not know if your mind is purifying or not, but you yourself will know whether your mind is purifying or not, right? So that's this lead of the spirituality. Okay, so if your mind can become your best friend or can become a worse friend for you, right? Best friend means if you are doing the action without likes and dislikes, and then what happens is your sanskara are building, a good sanskaras are building, so it becomes your best friend. If the bad sanskaras are building, what happens? They are your worst friend, right? So make sure that is. So in 14th we understand that God has washed his hand, that he is not the doer, he is not giving you the actions, and he is not even giving you the results of the action. It is going according to the laws. Laws are already being set. You are getting the result of the action according to the law, right? Got it? Okay, let's move on to shlok number 15. Okay, who is ready to sing this? Anybody wants to sing it? Risha, you want to sing it? Look at it if you want to sing. Sia, if you want to sing it, look at it.
Looks complicated.
Next one. What about you?
I can try.
50?
You can yeah.
Should I start?
Sure. Okay, you guys, hold on. You guys ready? Shlok number 15, chapter 5. Yes.
Nadate kashchit papam
Nadate kashchit papam
na cheva sukritam vibhu
na cheva sukritam vibhu
Ajnanena vrittam yanam
Ajnanena vritam jnanam
Tenam muyanti jantava
Tenam muhyanti jantava. Together, very good. Nadate kasyachit papam na cheva sukritam vibhu Ajnanena vritam jnanam Tenam muhyanti jantava. Very nice look. Now this is again one more thing, he is washing his hands off. So what God is saying, the Lord accepts neither the sin nor even the virtue of anyone. So he's washing out that he's not responsible for giving anybody sin or giving virtue, right? Knowledge is revealed by ignorance, being are thereby deluded. So what is God saying? That I am not responsible for any sin, any virtue. Knowledge which is covered by the ignorance. There is a knowledge which is covered by the ignorance that make people deluded. That what delusion is that? That they think that I am giving everything to them. Right? So the God is saying, I'm not giving you sorrow, I'm not giving you happiness. Neither happiness nor sorrow is given by me. First he said, I'm not the doer, I'm not giving you the action, I'm not giving you fruit of action. Now he's saying, I'm not giving you sin, I'm not giving you virtue. The knowledge is which is covered by the ignorance, that makes you deluded. Right? So that's what it is. Nanu, write it down, Raja.
My pencil ran out of lead.
He literally broke all of this. That's not him.
Take a pen, ask for a pen.
Oh, I have
I
a
will
pencil.
give it
Where
to
I have
you.
a pencil, I have a pencil. I got it.
I want you guys to write it down because then when I ask, you don't even have answer to it.
Can you write on the board so that we can?
I cannot write the whole thing, otherwise it's gonna eat up all the class, whole class time in writing the thing.
Everyone will say, what does that spell?
Le pen le Nanu, please. Don't break another pencil. He's gonna keep breaking it. Nanu, take a pen. इतना टाइम नहीं मेरे को तेरे पास वेट करने का.
Go, you. I never said you to wait. I'm ready. What are you?
The Lord
Write the
need.
definition.
मैं बोल देती हूँ write that definition because I think there might be different definition in
Yeah,
that
but put it
book.
in your own words.
Okay. Neither God, the Lord accepts neither the sin nor the virtue for anyone. Knowledge covered by ignorance that makes the being deluded. Now, somebody says that, and Krish asked the question just recently, but I'm gonna say that address that in another way. Some says that, okay, Sonal aunty, you said God lives in ourself, in our heart. Now, when we are sad, is God not sad? And we are happy, is God not happy? Is it not staying in the same house? When somebody is staying in the same house, if somebody is happy, the other one is also happy, right? Isn't that the rule? So think about this, that the God staying in us, what is the difference between us and the God that's staying inside us? Right? So think about it. There is one thing that expressed, lighten up. So God gets lightened up by the situation, we get lightened up the situation. What is the difference? We get affected by the situation and God doesn't get affected by the situation. That's the only difference between us and God. Remember that. So, what is the difference if you see? Us,
We get affected by God does.
we get lightened up, or you can say experience the situation. Lit up plus affected. And God here just lifts up the situation. No affection, no effects on God. Think about the situation I will tell you. Like, there is a stage. The stage is used for a dance, right? The lights on the stage lighten up that dance, right? In one day. The next day, the show is a drama. Then the light of the stage lights up the drama. Then there is a speech, a political speech on the same stage. The light on the stage lights up that political speech. But the lights of the stage does not get impacted by who is on that stage, what they are performing and what they are doing on the stage, right? They are not getting impacted. He is not getting impacted by what is performed on the stage. They are not giving light more to political person and less to the dancer, right? Okay.
What does the bottom one say?
God lit it up. What's the word? Light it up.
Zero light.
Light.
The X.
Plus
The X is the X.
Axis means not
not
affected.
affected.
Not affected means nothing happens here. So it is only one thing that is there. So God is like a stage, the light of the stage, right? But the audience is looking at it and getting affected by the scene that's going on, right? The people who are seeing political speech, probably they like or dislike it, right? The people who are seeing the dance might like it or dislike it, right? So that are us, but the God is only lighting it up, right? As we say that the fuel is the consciousness, right? It's the God in the car. It doesn't matter if you get into an accident or drive good. The fuel doesn't get impacted by it, right? Does fuel get impacted by any accidents that happen on the road?
No.
Oh, if it
It doesn't, right? Does it impacted by, oh, you are driving so good, I will give you an award? Does fuel say that? Fuel doesn't even say that. The fuel says that, oh, you are driving recklessly, I'm not going to drive for you. I will stop driving for you. I'm going to not give you energy to drive. Right, guys, no talking in the middle of the class. Other than the subject.
Oh, you were talking
Talk
about the subject.
Then you share with the whole class.
He's making a joke.
No, I was being serious.
He said the fuel is impacted by how fast you drive. Like more fuel.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
It's still the same fuel.
It's the same fuel.
Doesn't matter how
Fuel is
fast
done.
it's
Yeah.
doing, like,
We talk about that the screen of the movie theater, right? Even if it is so much violence going on, does the screen get impacted by that violence in the movie going on?
No.
You can see a Barbie movie on the same screen, and you can see a James Bond movie on the same screen, right? There's so much car chasing going on the screen. Does the screen get impacted? No, right? The same way if the Barbie movie is playing and the Barbie is lost, does the screen get impacted by Barbie getting lost?
Oh, you
No.
explained this to us a long time ago.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Oh, I thought
It was a long
It was
time
a
ago.
long
You're
time
right.
ago.
No, it was long time. It was in the second chapter.
Like
We
5
are in the
weeks ago.
5th chapter.
That was not 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, guys.
So yeah, so you
Yes,
understand?
also,
So what is the difference between us? So the God inside us, staying in our heart, right? He's not getting impacted by any sorrow and happiness that's going on us, right? It's just lighting up the sorrow and happiness for you. The feelings. The feeling is there. He lit up the feeling, but what is happening? All the impact is doing to you, not to him. I remember my grandfather, he used to pray every morning and every evening, and in the evening he used to pray, right? And we had only 2 rooms at that time. So one room for the guest room and one room was for the bedroom, right? So the guest room, he used to pray in that guest room. He used to stay in that guest room, right? So guest room, he used to sit down and pray, and guest comes, right? In India, a lot of guest comes, an uninvited guest come and an uninformed guest comes, right? So guest comes, we didn't even know that guests were coming, and he is in middle of the prayer. The guest will come, sit in the same room, talk about it, and it will be like I would get bothered if I'm sitting with him and praying with him. So half of my mind will go to the what people are talking in the room, right? And he never got bothered by people talking in the room. He will be so concentrated on his prayer. He never get bothered by what people are talking around the room. So I always think that he was very close to getting here because he was not affected by anything, any surrounding that was going on in that and small room, right? You cannot ignore people talking, but his peace would never go away by other people talking in the same room. So you know how it is. So I would say that he was right here. He was not getting affected by people who were talking around him, right? I was affected by it, so I was right here, right? Because I was affected. I couldn't concentrate on my prayer. I was, looking and listening to the people who are talking in the room, and he was not. So think about that there are people who can get to that level where God is, right? So they can they can see the situation. We were both in the same situation. We were feeling the same situation, but he was not getting impacted by it and I was getting affected by it. Right? Got it? So, the first thing is, we talk about that in this shlok, that God is saying, I'm not giving sin nor virtue, and the knowledge is covered by the ignorance. Now let's talk about knowledge covered by ignorance. So there is a knowledge there which is covered by ignorance, right? That's what it is saying. Now there are two kinds of ignorance. Think about that. One, think about that the person doesn't even know. A little kid goes and pull that thing out and put his hand in there, right? And says, and get a shock. Would you get mad at that kid?
No.
No.
Right. What would you say?
Are you okay?
Don't do
Don't
it.
do
Or
that.
don't do it again. Are you okay? Oh my God, we will not blame him. If we will blame us. Hey, why didn't we take care of her or him who was going towards that plug? Why didn't we say, control his going towards that or make him stop doing that, right? We will blame ourselves. We will not blame that kid. So he's ignorant, right? He's ignorant. There is no knowledge in it, right? He's ignorant. But the same thing, if Sean will do it, what will we say?
What are you doing?
Are you crazy? Huh? We will say that, right? Don't you know that? Huh? Are you kid? Like all those things will come out of our mouth, right? So the people who have the knowledge, but it is covered by ignorance, right? There is a cover on it. So these are the two different kind of things. So a person who is, let's say a bigger example, a person who is smoking or taking drugs, does he know that it is bad?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
But he's not affected.
No, but he. That is right. He's not getting affected by it. No. He's also affected by it. He knows it is bad. He knows he is doing a bad thing.
It's not like bothering him.
No, he wants to do it. He wants to get that pleasure.
But and
Right?
it's not a good action anyway. So
No, but what he's doing is he knows that it is bad, but he keeps doing it. Why? He is so used to that enjoyment, right? That pleasure that he's getting out of it. That's what he is so stuck to it, right? Though it's going to give a bad consequences, right? It's going to be bad consequences no matter what. But he's taking that 1 minute of pleasure more important than the consequences that he's going to be getting, right? So what I want to tell you is that ignorance of you knowing, still you want to do the bad thing, right? Remember Duryodhan said that I know it's bad, but I still want to do it, right? So the same way, we know that it is bad, but we still want, you want to still do it. That's that kind of ignorance. We have the ignorance. So what God is saying here, that our knowledge is covered by the ignorance, right? So it is covered by the ignorance. The guy is saying, oh no, pleasure is better than the consequences, so I'm going to keep taking it, right? That's why it is. We do the wrong thing. We know that we should not yell at our mom, dad, but do we stop it?
No.
When we are yelling at them, we know that we are doing wrong thing. Don't we know that? We know that there is a consequences of it, right? Don't we know that? We know that. When I yell at my kids, I know that I'm doing the wrong thing, but I have to still do it, right?
you don't
You
have.
should tell this to my mom.
I will. Today I did a wrong thing. I yelled at Krish for no reason. It was not his fault, but I still yelled at him. But that was because not knowing the whole story. I thought he didn't finish his lunch, and I was thinking that he just sitting and watching the game and didn't do the work that I wanted him to do it. So I yelled at him, but then I realized he did it, everything. So I'm sorry for that. But that's what happens. It comes by itself, right? So what we are saying here is that until the knowledge doesn't stabilize, it is ignorance, right? You knowing the knowledge, we all know that. Now we know that, right, guys? That what is our real self? A consciousness. We are not this body, mind and intellect. We are the consciousness, right? We all know it. But is it stabilized in us? No. So it's still an ignorance. The ignorance is covering our knowledge still. And give the sin, the virtue, and this knowledge is covered by the ignorance, right? You got it? Okay, let's go to the next slok. Slok number 16. Who's gonna sing this one?
I'll sing it.
Okay, go ahead.
First one, look at this.
My God, the time goes so fast.
Because everyone was talking.
Okay, this looks
What? Questions.
should I start?
Yes. Hey, guys, are you ready for slok 60? Chapter 5. Okay. Be loud, Raja.
Nanena tum tat adnanam
Jnanena tu tadjnanam
yesam nasitam atmana
yesham nashitamatmana
tesam aditya vajnanam
tesham aditya vajnanam
prakasaiti tatparam
prakashayati tatparam. Very good. Together. Jnanena tu tadadhyanam yesham nashitamatmana tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. So, but in whom ignorance is destroyed by knowledge, in them knowledge reveal the supreme like the sun. So he talks about it when the ignorance is destroyed in those ones that is covered by ignorance. The knowledge is, when the ignorance is destroyed, the knowledge is revealed like supreme self, like a sun comes out every morning. The sun, the knowledge comes out. So like, you know, the light removes the darkness, right? The same way knowledge removes the ignorance. How long the darkness stayed, like the whole night the darkness was, but one light of sun deletes the whole darkness. So how long the ignorance would have stayed? Birth after birth we born in this ignorance all the time, but one light of this knowledge, as soon as that gets it, the whole darkness goes away. Right? So that's what God is saying. So we will start, I will start explaining stroke number 16 next time. I was very ambitious today. I thought we will do till 17th. I couldn't even finish 16. Okay. Got it? Let's close it. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamshachanunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Cleveland one.